NewsTalkSports.com. The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Good morning and welcome to Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell. Now for today's show, here's attorney Ethel Mitchell.
Good morning. This is attorney Ethel Mitchell. Welcome to Law Talk. I am happy to be here and welcome you to what should be a very, very good show. Welcome to all who are listening live throughout the world on Radio 1, 1450 AM, WLDC.com, and LawTalkWithEthelMitchell.com. We have a great program for you today. We're going to discuss aspects of wills and trust, particularly those things that you need to know about reverse mortgages, holding title to property, especially if you are married, and how to protect young people and those who are disabled. First, this program is brought to you by my law office, Wills and Trust, LLC, where I prepare wills, trust, power of attorneys, advanced medical directives. I counsel people on how to arrange their affairs to be the best and to be protective of what's important to them. So if you know anyone who needs a will or assistance in administering an estate, call me at 202-772-1988, 202-772-1988, and by Equity Resources at 202-621-6632. If you want to sell your home, Equity Resources will buy it quickly and for cash. So give them a call, anyone in the metropolitan area, at 202-621-6632. Law is powerful. It can help you or it can hurt you. It impacts everything you do. What you don't know can really hurt you, but what you do know empowers you. So each week, we at Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell aim to empower you by bringing you professionals who know the law to enlighten you. All of our programs are archived on LawTalkWithEthelMitchell.com. So if you missed a program or you want to hear it again, just go to LawTalkWithEthelMitchell.com, where my webmaster, Earl Hooks, posts all of the programs within 72 hours of their airing. Click on the archive button on the website, and that's where the programs are to be found. We want you to be part of the conversation today. My executive producer, Stacy Worcester, is standing by throughout the program to pass along your comments or questions. You can call us at 1-800-450-7876. That's 1-800-450-7876. Tweet us at LawTalkEM or like us on Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell on Facebook. I must remind you that what you hear on this show is for information purposes only. No attorney-client relationship is established by anything said on this show. Each person's circumstances are different, and you must seek individual counsel for any situation for which you need legal advice. So let's get started. As I've said, my law practice focuses on wills, trust, estate planning, and probate. During some of my previous shows, we have drilled down on various ways to own title to a home, critical planning documents, including wills, trust, advanced medical directives, transfer on death deeds, life estates, and more. I'm very passionate and serious about educating people about how these important matters can help them and can hurt them. And so I'm going to dedicate the first show of each month to sharing this information with my listeners. I'm going to flip the script, as they say, or in this case, I'm flipping the mic. And my executive producer, Stacy Royster, is going to have a conversation with me and ask me questions today as my co-host as we drill down on some of these topics.
Well, hello, Ethel.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
It's my pleasure to co-host today's show and continuing to produce with you. It's so exciting, and I'm so proud of everything we're doing together. And
yes.
So let's get started. With more than 20 years of legal experience, attorney Ethel Mitchell has distinguished herself as a leading practitioner, focusing on wills, trust, estate planning, and probate, as she said earlier. She is a sought-after advisor and frequent legal affairs orator. Ms. Mitchell is a member of the Bar Associations of Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, United States Virgin Islands, and Ghana. She completed undergraduate studies at Fisk University and received her Juris Doctorate degree from Columbia Law School, and then served as law clerk to Chief Judge Christian in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. A consummate believer in continued education and learning and exchange of ideas, Attorney Mitchell recently attended the National Bar Association's annual convention in Atlanta, and in May of 2014, she participated in the American Bar Association's Advanced Skills for Estate Planners course held at the New York University School of Law. She, again, is passionate, as I said, about educating people, of using the law proactively to empower themselves, and continues to engage listeners about various aspects of the law and how it directly impacts their lives during her weekly national broadcast, Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell, which she launched in February of this year right here on Radio 1's WOL 1450 AM. Thank you, Ethel, for continuing to share your expertise with our listeners.
Well, my pleasure, really. It's important.
Great. So, you're in for a great show because you hear Ethel every week. And so let's get started. Wills, estate planning, trust, and probate are all critical areas of future planning to protect yourself and your loved ones, and management of your property for yourself and your loved ones upon your death or illness. Something that we may not always think about, but we need to think about. Mm-hmm. And so we hear about reverse mortgages, mm-hmm. and I'm not sure that people really understand what they are. So what exactly is a reverse mortgage?
Okay, a reverse mortgage is a mortgage that you get. I mean, everybody knows a mortgage is a lien on a house. The bank loans you money, and they hold your house hostage, so to speak, until you pay it off. Traditionally, a mortgage is received, and you pay it each month or every quarter, however the arrangement is, while you are alive. The reverse mortgage came along a couple of years back, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it because it allows the person who gets the mortgage to not have to pay it back during their lifetime. So what happens, instead of you paying the mortgage, the interest that you would normally pay each month is added to the principal of the mortgage. Mm-hmm. And it's accumulated, and on your death, that's when the mortgage becomes due. As a practical matter and as a legal matter, that mortgage does not usually have to be paid for at least 6 months after the death of the mortgage holder. What I'm finding in my practice is a lot of people misunderstand and think that because their parent or someone has a reverse mortgage, they have to turn the house over to the bank. Immediately. Or whatever. There's nothing else that they can do because their parent took a reverse mortgage and therefore they no longer have any interest in the home. That's just not true. And I want to clarify that because that's just not true. What happens is when the person dies, the family or whoever inherits the property has the ability to refinance the mortgage if their credit will allow it and they have the money to do so. Mm-hmm. They have the ability to sell the home and pay the mortgage off and keep the balance for the family, you see. Or in some rare instances, they can get their own reverse mortgage. And the reason why I say it's rare is because you have to be 62 years of age before you can even be considered to qualify for a reverse mortgage. What some of my clients have made the mistake of doing is waiting until their parent died and then trying to get a reverse mortgage on their own because they're then over 62 years of age. The only way that works is if there's a lot of equity that has built up in the property, because the mortgage company calculates based on your life expectancy how long you're going to live.
Oh, interesting.
And then they estimate how much the interest is going to accumulate on that mortgage before you die. You see.
So if you wait until your loved one dies, it's too late.
It might not be. It might
could
not
be.
be.
Okay.
It could be. But just the fact that you're 62 does not guarantee
Okay.
that you'll be able to get your own reverse mortgage.
Okay.
Okay? What the better practice to do is, if you are already 62, while your loved one is alive and they have a reverse mortgage, try to get your name put on the deed and try to get the reverse mortgage in both of your names. And that way, even if one person dies, you don't have to pay the mortgage until the second person dies.
Interesting.
Yes. But there's got to be enough equity in the home to justify it. In other words, they're going to look at your age, whatever the youngest person's age is. They look at that. They have actuarial tables that say if you are 70 years old, then you're going to live this long, and this is how much that mortgage is going to be worth. And then they'll say, yes, we'll do it, or no, depending on the equity.
Okay.
Okay? So we have to take a break. We'll be right back, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
1450 WOL, where information is power.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, I really enjoy your commercials about Geico's app. I watch them over and over and over. They make me both laugh and very hungry. Weird. Anyway, I just want to let you know how Geico's new claim status updates on the app really blow me away. Getting those updates makes me think of you. I'd like to thank you in person. Just send me your address. All the best, Big Bad W. Sure thing, Big Bad W. I got a pen. It's 802 Not Gonna Happen Lane.
Claim status updates just a tap away on the Geico app.
The word is out. One of the most recent weight loss products that has the whole world talking is now available in the U.S. If you want the newest, faster fat buster to aid in weight loss, the name is Garcinia Cambogia. On the Dr. Oz TV show, Garcinia Cambogia was described as the holy grail of weight loss. But why is everyone buzzing about Garcinia Cambogia? You see, Garcinia Cambogia is a dual-action ingredient. It can help you lose weight naturally by helping inhibit fat production, meaning that what you eat is turned into energy that you use rather than store. It can also help suppress your appetite by increasing serotonin levels in your body. To get a risk-free bottle of genuine Garcinia Cambogia from Genuine Supplements, call 1-888-430-4515. Call right now and also get a free copy of the Dr. Oz book, You Losing Weight. Call right now, 1-888-430-4515. Again, that's 1-888-430-4515.
HelloBeautiful.com is the website for today's black woman.
Whether you follow the power moves of Michelle Obama and Oprah,
or just want to keep up with the Braxtons and Basketball Wives.
Whether you need some help with your outfit,
or if you want to clown on someone else's.
Hello Beautiful is helpful hints and guilty pleasures.
Hello Beautiful keeps you connected and gives you a break.
For every part of you, HelloBeautiful.com.
Owning and caring for a home comes with a lot of to-dos. Fix the AC, build a deck, remodel the kitchen. Whatever your home improvement need, Home Advisor can help you find a pro you can trust to get the job done right. Go to fixitfast.homeadvisor.com for instant access to top-rated pros in your area, including electricians, handymen, remodelers, whatever type of home pro you need. Home Advisor is absolutely free to use. At Home Advisor, you don't have to search through a long list of pros. With just a few clicks, Home Advisor matches you with pros who provide the exact services you need. You can read customer reviews of the pros, even use the cost guide to find out what hundreds of other home projects cost in your area. And because Home Advisor knows it's important to find a pro you can trust in your home, they conduct background checks on their service professionals. It's just one of the reasons more than 25 million homeowners have used Home Advisor. Go to fixitfast.homeadvisor.com to find the right pro for your project. That's fixitfast.homeadvisor.com.
News1.com is breaking news for Black America. News1.com tells the stories we care about. Our community, our concerns, our world. Uncensored, unapologetic. News One is news from our perspective. One people, one voice. News1.com.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-943-1356. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and buses, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-943-1356. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-943-1356.
News Talk 1450 WOL-AM, where information is power.
Welcome back to Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell, with host attorney Ethel Mitchell, who is our expert guest for today, talking about wills of trust, state, probate matters, and more. And before the break, we were just talking about reverse mortgages. Mm-hmm. So, Ethel, bring us back up to speed. You were making a point about reverse mortgages and whether or not putting someone's name on the deed is a good thing, and how it can help or hurt. And in fact, whether or not the whole process is a good thing or not. Talk about that a little further.
As a legal matter, a reverse mortgage has to be paid off at some point. When the person who got the reverse mortgage dies, the bank usually allows you 6 months, and if you're actively trying to sell it, they'll give you up to a year usually, because they don't really want the house, to try to sell the house or to refinance it so they get paid off. If you put someone else's name on the deed, just like I've said before, whoever's name is on the deed, unless you're married and you have it as tenants by the entirety, which we'll get to in a few minutes, their creditors could also get to that deed. Okay, so that's always in the back of your mind when you're putting somebody else's name on the deed. And by the way, I'm using the colloquial term putting someone's name on a deed. It really means creating a new deed.
Oh, okay.
You put somebody's name on the deed by creating a new deed where the person that owns the property signs a deed to themselves and somebody else. That's how you actually put somebody's name on a deed, okay? But when it comes to reverse mortgages, if you need the money, there are a lot of elderly people that do need the money. They don't have enough money to pay for their medicine, to pay for their bills, and so on like that. And if you have all this equity in the home, the reverse mortgage is one of the ways of getting the money that you need. Okay. You need to refurbish your home or fix it so that you need, maybe you need the stair lifts or whatever. There are very good reasons for using it. But you should get counseling. In fact, it's required before you get a reverse mortgage. Okay?
And they can call you for counseling, or you refer them?
Well, I can refer them, okay. But actually the law requires that whoever is offering the mortgage offer a third-party counseling service. Okay. Not a lawyer, but they're actually people who are set up that counsel the person before they sign on for the reverse mortgage. Okay. Right, okay? So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, but as much as I can at least. But from a legal matter, you don't sign over the house. You simply have to pay off the mortgage when that person dies. Okay. Okay, one way or the other.
Okay? So I do have a remaining question. And so is your house in any danger, I guess, in terms of you adding someone's name to your deed?
Anytime you put somebody else's name on your deed, their creditors can come and get your property, okay? Okay. The only time that is not the case is if you are married to the person and the deed is as tenants by the entirety.
All right.
A marriage, and it does include, I did in my research for today, I found out that domestic spouses and same-sex marriages have that right in D.C. I don't know about all over the country, but if you are married, you have the right to have whole title as tenants by the entirety. And at that point, an individual's creditors cannot break the tenancy by the entirety. Okay? So until that person, one of you dies, then their creditors can come and get it. But if the creditor is the one who is still surviving, I'll put it like that. Well,
but, and so speaking of which, if assuming that when you're married and the other person dies, the other person does not automatically get all of the property.
No, that's another very big problem. If your intention when you buy property and you're married is for the spouse who survives the death to have the property, you must put on the deed that you are tenants by the entirety with rights of survivorship. Okay? If you do not put that on, then it is not guaranteed. In fact, it's more and more likely that you're going to have to probate the share of the deceased spouse. And the law does not give the surviving spouse all of the house. If they're children, the children get a share of the deceased spouse's share. Okay? Even if there aren't children, the parents, if they have a live parent, that parent is going to inherit from the share of the deceased spouse. So if your intention is to have your spouse get the house when you die, please make sure that it says husband and wife, tenants by the entirety, with rights of survivorship. If it does, and another thing that comes up quite a bit is a lot of times I'm finding people buy the home before they get married. And then they get married. And they think it's fixed. It's not.
Or one of the parties owns a house. You figure out, well, which house are we going to keep? The other one moves in, and you do nothing.
Exactly. So you never put that other person's name on the deed, and that's a problem. So you really, and it's a simple fix. It's just a matter of doing another deed from either the both of you, if both of your names are on the house, or from the person whose single name is on the house. It's a deed from them to the both of you as tenants by the entirety.
Very important.
With rights of survivorship. That is very, very important if you want your spouse to have the house. Because I'm running into a lot of that where that was not done. And so then we have to go through the whole expensive probate route. And the surviving spouse may not, especially if there's no will. I tell people, always have a will.
Well, I knew recently a couple that was married. The daughter, the wife, left in her will her house, because it was her house first, to her mother. And the husband had to move.
That's right.
And she's selling the house. And I was, baffled. But okay, so this is helpful. That's why it's so important that you're educating the listeners and everyone. If you're not in this situation, but you know someone who is, this is very important to pass along, because whether in a domestic partnership, whether it's
now you can do this even if you're not married. Now let me explain how you don't get the asset protection piece. But you can, like sisters or brothers who may live in the house together, maybe they bought the house together, maybe they inherited the house or whatever, or you live together, you're buying the house together, you're paying the mortgage and so on. You could have your deed say the two of you with rights of survivorship. Okay? And that way when one dies, the other one owns all of it.
Okay. Now, so does this get into, joint tenancy or tenancy in common? How are these
let me
different?
explain that. Joint tenancy is the one that we talked about, rights of survivorship. So, for example, maybe your mother or father left 4 or 5 brothers the house. And the intention is whoever survives gets the whole house. Then you put the deed in all of their names as joint tenants with rights of survivorship. So when one dies, all his share goes to the other 3. Then the next one dies, it all goes to the surviving 2. And then the last one that survives owns the whole house. Now, for example, suppose, though, you don't really want that. Suppose that, let's take a blended family where the husband and the wife have separate children, and you want your children to inherit your share. Or maybe brothers and sisters want their children to inherit their share. You are then, you don't put the joint tenants with rights of survivorship in the deed. You instead become tenants in common.
Okay,
tenants in common. That means, let's say there are 2 people, then each of you own an undivided 1/2 share of the house. With that, though, you want to do one other thing. If your intention is to protect your one share so it can go down the way you want it to go, but you don't want to put your spouse or your friend out of the house while they're alive, then you give them a life estate.
Okay, I was just about to ask you in terms
that's
of
what you do.
How is it different? And so
you say, yes, we own it as tenants in common, which means your share and my share are separate. But if I die, I'm giving you the right to live in the house for the rest of your life, so that you can't be put out by my children, okay, or whoever.
But
after you die, then your children and my children can sell the house and divide it up. Okay?
Very important.
It's a very good way, especially in blended families, where you can protect each other for the rest of your life, and then when both of you die, you can split the income or whatever it is from the house, whatever you want to do with it. It's also handy, let's say you might have a disabled child or spouse. You may not want to put their name on the property for whatever reason, but you want to provide a place for them to live. And I get a lot of that where most of the brothers and sisters are in good shape. They have their own homes, but there's one that is not. They may not be disabled. They may have had to move back home. They may have been divorced. They may have, God only knows, there are all kinds of reasons that might have happened. And so on the one hand, you want to provide a roof over their head, but on the other hand, you don't really want to give the house to them, you see. So in that case, you can say, for the rest of your life, you stay here, and then when you die, it goes to whoever you want it to go, okay? We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. Yes.
1450 WOL, where information is power.
Radio 1, the urban media specialist, is proud to help your company reach thousands of qualified diverse job seekers. If your company's recruitment needs include diversity, please join Radio 1 on Tuesday, September 30th for the Radio 1 Diversity Career Fair. To inquire about your company participating, simply email diversitycareerfair@radio-1.com. Position your company in front of several thousand qualified diverse job seekers at the Radio 1 Diversity Career Fair on September 30th at the DC Armory. For more information, email diversitycareerfair@radio-1.com. Radio 1 is the leader in reaching qualified diverse candidates. Don't miss out on the opportunity to recruit the best and the brightest minds. Email diversitycareerfair@radio-1.com.
When I walk into Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm not just a customer.
I'm a fan.
And in this house, fans rule.
This is our stadium,
our locker room,
our dugout.
Our sports drinks are served on tap, and our pregame meal is
hand-spun wings.
In victory or in defeat, we never leave hungry.
Because in this house, we are the MVPs.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Visit BuffaloWildWings.com to find the location nearest you.
And now the official fan rules of Buffalo Wild Wings. Rule number 12. The 12th man can't take the game off. Who are you supposed to share pretzels with? Rule number 27. Team colors must be worn on game day. Always. Rule number 41. You don't know more than the head coach. You just don't. Rule number 52. No DVRing big games. Football shouldn't have spoiler alerts. That's not a problem with Buffalo Wild Wings wall-to-wall sports. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Hi, my name is Stanley, and I've been arrested for stealing shoes. I didn't really steal them, but I've been sent to Camp Green Lake anyway. The worst punishment a kid could get. And at Camp Green Lake, we dig holes. Lots of holes. I've only been here a short time, but I think the camp director is up to something. I'm Stanley Yelnats, and I'm covering more than dirt at Camp Green Lake. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Holes by Louis Sacker. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Owning and caring for a home comes with a lot of to-dos. Fix the AC, build a deck, remodel the kitchen. Whatever your home improvement needs, Home Advisor can help you find a pro you can trust to get the job done right. Go to fixitfast.homeadvisor.com for instant access to top-rated pros in your area. And Home Advisor is absolutely free to use. You can read customer reviews of the pros, even use the cost guide to find out what hundreds of other home projects cost in your area. Go to fixitfast.homeadvisor.com to find the right pro for your project.
News1.com is breaking news for Black America. News1.com tells the stories we care about. Our community, our concerns, our world. Uncensored, unapologetic. News One is news from our perspective. One people, one voice. News1.com.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it. You could junk it. Or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-943-1356. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a non-profit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-943-1356. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now. 1-800-943-1356. That's 1-800-943-1356.
News Talk 1450 WOL-AM, where information is power.
Welcome back to Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell. This is Stacey Royster, your co-host for today and executive producer of Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell. And we're talking with our host and experts, Attorney Ethel Mitchell, about various aspects of wills, trusts, and estate planning, and some very helpful tips. If you have questions about wills, trusts, and estate planning, visit her practice's site at www.willsandtrusts.net or call her at 202-772-1988. Welcome back, Attorney Mitchell.
Thank you very much.
We were talking about reverse mortgages at the top of the show, and we wanted to just, before we get into our next segment, I wanted to ask you a bit about, we transferred into property when you're married and own property, some things that should happen or shouldn't happen, how they should happen, different processes. So transfer on death deeds, what do they allow you to do?
Transfer on death deeds allow you to transfer property when you die without having to go through probate. And they're very, very useful. It's brand new, D.C., and relatively new. D.C. and Virginia have enacted laws that allow that to happen. And basically what happens is this. Let's say your parent wants you to inherit the property. You are an adult. It is not appropriate when you have minors, or it's not appropriate when you have a whole lot of people you want to leave the house to, okay? But if you are leaving the home to 2 people, maybe 3, they're all adults, and you own the home either by yourself or both of you are, or whoever you own the home with, they're willing to do the same thing. You can enter into a deed that says, when I die, this home belongs to, and you name your intended beneficiary. What that does is avoids the need to go through probate. It does not, however, interfere with the ownership during the lifetime of the person. So even if the person says, when I die, this house goes to somebody, and then life changes, there are always changes in life, and the person needs to sell the house, they still have the right, the absolute right to sell the house. Another thing that it does not avoid is any lien that's on the house. So if the house has a mortgage of any kind, reverse or conventional, then whoever gets the house when the person dies, they're then responsible for paying off that mortgage as well.
Very interesting.
So, but it's a very good tool that helps to, because a lot of times you can almost avoid probate with everything by using payable on death beneficiary designations on your life insurance policies, on your bank accounts, on your securities. You do transfer on death designations. But the house has always been difficult to do without having to go through probate.
And you've mentioned on prior shows, this is new in Maryland.
This is not Maryland. Maryland doesn't have it yet.
Oh,
D.C. and Virginia.
Okay.
D.C. and Virginia have it. What Maryland has is what's called an enhanced life estate deed, which kind of acts in the same way, but as a legal matter, it's a little different in that you've actually transferred the house while you are alive to the person that you want. And then you reserve for yourself a life estate, meaning you're simply reserving the right to remain there. That's legally different from owning the house, do what you want to with it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have transferred it while reserving a life estate, that's a little different.
Okay.
That's a little different. And Maryland has some protections too, but it's a different process. It's a bit of a different process.
Like 5 seconds or so, 'cause it'll be back.
Okay, thank you. Ethel, thank you. You mentioned earlier, special circumstances perhaps for disabled persons or
Yes.
disabled children, for example. How do you properly protect your estate if you have an intended beneficiary who may be disabled and perhaps receiving government assistance that may limit their income?
Yes, that's a big one. If a person receives, for example, SSI, okay, that is a government program that is geared to help people who are unable to take care of themselves for whatever reason. And there are other programs like that too, Medicaid, the different programs. But the government limits the amount of assets and the amount of income that they can receive. So usually the limit is about $2,000. And so if you have an intended beneficiary, let's say you have 3 children and 1 child is on disability, you would want to protect that child as well. Well, if you do a will that says this child gets equal with everybody, you're risking the government coming in and taking whatever you are leaving for that disabled child. What you do instead, there are several ways of doing it. One is a special type of trust. And one day we have to do a program on what a trust is. But there's what's called supplemental needs trust or special needs trust. And they're specifically set up to benefit people who receive, who have special needs and receive government assistance. What it says basically is, I'm leaving this in trust for the benefit of this person. I'm naming somebody else to manage the money for her or him. They cannot do anything with this money that will interfere with her government benefits. So, for example, if the government is providing housing, then you don't go and provide something else that's exactly the same thing. You might want to say, well, she would be more comfortable with a particular kind of bed. Maybe there's a particular kind of bed or a particular kind of wheelchair or a particular kind of service that would be very beneficial to the person, but the government doesn't provide that. And so you can use that money to supplement their needs. That's why it's called a supplemental needs trust. And you are told in the trust not to do anything that will interfere with that person's benefits. So that's one of the ways of protecting and still helping the child or adult, could be an adult, to still maintain their government benefits and not lose them, and yet still have access to what you are leaving them. They can't have access, but whoever you name as the trustee can use whatever the resources are that you want, and you put into the trust to take care of that person. In some instances, that may not be appropriate because there may not be enough money. If you've got $10,000 or something like that, that is certainly going to be helpful to the person. If you have a family member that you really trust, you can say in your will, I leave all of my money, or whatever this money is that you want, to somebody else. It is a complete gift to that person, and they, in their discretion, can use it to care for the disabled person.
So you can be very creative.
Oh, you can be creative, but you got to be
legally
careful.
creative.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, lawyers are nothing but we are creative, okay? But our whole and our whole purpose is to accomplish the objective of the client.
But I like what you said earlier, basically to protect not only yourself and your property, but also your loved ones.
Yes.
And so this is really the point of empowering yourselves, as you always say, and using the law.
Might as well use it. It's there for you.
And you're going to help them use it creatively.
That's what I do.
Tell everyone again the phone number they can use to reach you for specific counseling around some of these issues.
202-772-1988. You can call me at 202-772-1988. I sit with families and listen to what their concerns are, and usually we can work out a way to accomplish whatever it is. A lot of people have misconceptions, and they do things that maybe it won't accomplish the objective. I've had people come in and they've put the disabled person's name on their life insurance policy, on their deeds, and that is exactly what you do not want to do. Because particularly if the person is mentally incompetent as well, they're not even able to sign documents that would help themselves. A guardian has to be appointed, you see. So you want to be careful whatever you're doing when you're making those kind of plans, you know.
Oh,
and it's kind of the same thing when it comes to minor children.
I was just, for children, you know, how do you protect children or leave assets, particularly for minors?
Okay, let's talk about the simplest ways, and then we'll go into slightly more complicated ways. The simplest form of leaving money, let's talk about money, because you do not want to put a child's name on your house or on anything that's major, because they can't sign documents, okay? They're legally incompetent, okay? I don't care how smart they are. They're under 18 or they're not of the age of majority, they can't do nothing with it, and the court often will not let you do anything with it either once you put their name on it. They can't even take their name off, and you can't either. So you want to be careful with that. But let's say you want to put money aside for education, and you might be a grandparent, you might be an aunt, you might be an uncle, you might be a parent. There are bank accounts, there are stock accounts, there's 529 plans that are specifically geared for saving money so that it can be used for educational benefits. Each state has programs that you can put money aside, and when the child gets ready to go to college, to trade school, or whatever, that money is available for them to use for that purpose. And each program has a different kind of out in case they don't want to go to college or they don't want to use it for that purpose. So you have to look at the particular program, okay? Financial advisors are very well versed in those kinds of things. And there's some tax benefits to doing them sometimes, especially for grandparents, that are very useful. The second thing you can do is called an UTMA account, Uniform Transfer to Minor, UTMA, or sometimes it's UGMA, UGMA, but they're accounts made for minors. You go to the bank, you open the account, you name yourself or somebody as an adult as the custodian of the account, but the money that's put into the account belongs to the minor. When they reach 18 years of age or 21, depending on your state, that money is theirs. Okay? They have a right to take that money out. So you don't want to put enough money in there for them to hurt themselves. Okay? Let's be real. You don't want to put $100,000 into an UTMA account so that they can go crazy when they turn 18 years of age. Okay? So let's say that you want to leave a substantial amount of money. There are special trusts. We call them 2503 trusts because of the statute that they come from, that allow you to establish the trust. Well, a lawyer creates the trust, and then you put money into that trust. And what's traditionally done is the law allows you to put aside up to $14,000 a year without having to file a gift tax return. Wealthy people do this all the time. They sock away $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year, every year when a child is born. When they reach 18, they have one time in which they can take money out. If they don't take the money out, it stays in the trust. Okay? And so it keeps on growing. So think about it. If you've got a child and you put $5,000 a year in, when they reach 18, that's a good amount of money.
That's a good amount of money.
So it's a real nice way to save money. Okay? When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay?
Right.
1450 WOL, where information is power.
Radio 1, the urban media specialist, is proud to help your company reach thousands of qualified diverse job seekers. If your company's recruitment needs include diversity, please join Radio 1 on Tuesday, September 30th for the Radio 1 Diversity Career Fair. To inquire about your company participating, simply email diversitycareerfair@radio-1.com. Position your company in front of several thousand qualified diverse job seekers at the Radio 1 Diversity Career Fair on September 30th at the DC Armory. For more information, email diversitycareerfair@radio-1.com. Radio 1 is the leader in reaching qualified diverse candidates. Don't miss out on the opportunity to recruit the best and the brightest minds. Email diversitycareerfair@radio-1.com.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
McGruff here.
The crime dog?
Yep.
I think I'm going to need your help. I've got an internet bully.
Okay, well, what you do is...
Maybe you could put a virus on her computer. Or a tracking device. Or a bug.
You don't have to do that, all you...
Or maybe we could get an attack dog. You ever see those attack dogs that can, rip a person's arm off? Seriously. Or like a SWAT team. A cyber SWAT team or something. Or like an army. Did you ever see that zombie army movie? We should get a zombie army.
Wait. All you need to do to stop an internet bully is delete their messages and never forward them on.
So, no zombies?
No zombies.
Bummer.
Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse, much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-656-9393. That's 800-656-9393. 800-656-9393.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Welcome back to Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell. I'm Stacey Royster, co-host for today, and we're talking with attorney Ethel Mitchell, our expert and our host. Thank you, Ethel, for enlightening us with so much information. When at the start of the break, or the other side of the break, I should say, we were talking about protecting minors and providing for minors. Mm-hmm. And I know you had some other comments to close out.
Well, we're going to have to close out, but there are many other ways of protecting minors. There's particular trust. I just talked about one in particular, the 2503 trust. Any kind of trust that is created that by its terms says, use this money for my children, my grandchildren, my nieces, my nephews, whoever you may want. You can have your own revocable trust, which when you die creates a trust for minors and tells the trustee what to do with the money and when to distribute. Those are very common as well. So there's so many creative things that we can do.
And we'll need to follow up on another show.
Yes. I'd be glad to tell people, because I do this all day long. So
great. I think we should dedicate a special show just for that.
For trust. Okay. We can do that. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad she agrees, since since she's the boss. She gets to say so. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great serving as your co-host. I'm going to go back to my executive producer roles, because Ethel is now. I'm going to flip the script and the mic back over to Ethel. She has some closing comments, and of course our good news section.
Yes.
So take it away.
Well, thank you very much. Remember that we want to shout out your family reunion plans. It's really important. So send us the details. For good news today, I have some personal good news. I've got my beautiful daughter sitting in the studio with me today. Leah Mitchell is sitting here. She's visiting from New York for a hot minute. She's a lawyer too, by the way. So it's really delightful to have her here. First, I want to share with you on our good news that Dr. Donna Christensen won the Democratic primary for the governor's race in the United States Virgin Islands, all but guaranteeing that she will become the first black female governor of the United States. So we're going to keep you posted on that. By way of disclosure, Donna's father hired me right out of law school. That was my first job out of law school. Judge Almeric Christian was chief judge of the U.S. District Court in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I was one of his first law clerks. And so I've known Donna a long time. She's been the congressional representative for the Virgin Islands for many years, and now she looks like she's on her way to becoming the governor. When I saw that, I got curious and decided I would Google how many other black governors there have been in the United States, and I found that there have been 4 black governors in the United States. Mr. Pinchback, Governor Pinchback, was a Republican, a black Republican in Louisiana. He was the governor of Louisiana from December 9th, 1872 through January 13th of 1873. Then there was Douglas Wilder, a Democrat from Virginia. He was governor from 1990 to 1994. There is presently Deval Patrick, a Democrat from Massachusetts. He's been governor since 2007. And also at present in New York, the governor is black, David Patterson. He's also a Democrat. He has been governor of New York State since March 17th of 2007. Wilder and Patrick were elected. Pinchback and Patterson were serving as lieutenant governor and succeeded incumbent governors. So we've got quite a history of that a lot of us don't know about. And so that kind of led me to looking into my own family history, which I kind of know of, but I decided to Google Joshua Thomas, who was my mother's grandfather, and he was the black mayor of Morgan City, Louisiana, where we were raised at. And you can, if you Google Joshua Thomas, mayor of Morgan City, you'll come up with Brashear's black mayor. He was apparently appointed as the mayor in 1874, and he was well educated. Okay, this was right after the Civil War, and I encourage our youngsters to learn, as well as our older people, to start researching our history. during Reconstruction, we were not just all poor slaves who were destitute. A lot of people had gotten education. God only knows how or where, but they did. They had money. They did what they needed to do to survive and to thrive. And apparently Joshua Thomas had come to Louisiana from somewhere in the north, and he was very well educated, and he was respected by citizens of both races and advocates of different political philosophies. I know that in our own family it was said the black people and the white people liked him, you know. So he was from Pennsylvania, and he came down to Louisiana and became the mayor for a while. So I just wanted to have other people let me know about your family histories. I would love to share this information with you because it's important. We need to know who we are, and our young people need to know who we are. And we need to start reflecting that back in our own, respecting and appreciating our own accomplishments because we are a very accomplished people. We are great people, and we need to appreciate each other. So let me know about your own family history. Let me know about your family reunions. I'll be glad to shout them out for you. I want to know about good news. I know that the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's conference is coming up September 24th through the 27th, and I want people to go to that. I'll have more information on that next week. This has been Attorney Ethel Mitchell. It's been my pleasure, and I look forward to talking with you next week. Have a good week. Goodbye.